In Egypt's recent presidential election, former Army General Abdel Fattah al-Sisi was the clear winner. But having gained support for leading the military coup, which ousted President Mohamed Morsi in 2013, these elections masked an increasingly silent and unhappy population.
ليه متضايق من الخلفية العسكرية؟ الخلفية العسكرية بيدور على الناس اللي جنبه، ماشي؟ بيدورش على الناس الغلابة اللي في الشارع.
The government has shut down 64 websites in the last 2 weeks, including Al Jazeera, the Huffington Post Arabic, Egypt Daily News and Daily Sabah. You're probably thinking why? Well, Egypt says these publications are affiliated with the Muslim Brotherhood and support terrorism. But are 64 websites really all supporting the Brotherhood and terrorism? The crisis has heavily impacted tourism, once a thriving industry in Egypt. In 2010, tourism accounted for nearly 13% of GDP, with 14 million tourist arrivals. Today, it's plummeted significantly, with less than 2 million tourist arrivals in Egypt in 2017. The regime has also chosen to take a $12 billion IMF loan, meaning that Egypt has had to deflate its currency and cut subsidies. The results have been catastrophic. Inflation has hit the economy hard, and basic necessities like bread have become unaffordable for many. So as Egypt sinks deeper into censorship, insecurity and poverty, how long will Sisi manage to hold on to power?
Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi is now one step closer to consolidating his grip on power, potentially for the next 15 years. On Thursday, Egypt's parliament advanced a proposal that would permit the president to run for 2 more 6-year terms, extending his rule to 2034. His current term is set to end in 2022. President al-Sisi rose to power in 2014. After leading the military overthrow of his divisive but democratically elected predecessor Mohamed Morsi. El-Sisi was re-elected in 2018 after his main challengers were jailed or pressured to withdraw from the race. Critics of the parliamentary proposal say it would bring Egypt back to the pre-Arab Spring period, under which Hosni Mubarak ruled for nearly 3 decades.
The transfer of power is a moral principle which was created by the revolutions of the 25th of January and 30th of June. This is a social contract which is obligatory to the ruler as well as those who are ruled.
Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi was elected president in 2014, replacing Islamist President Mohamed Morsi. Now al-Sisi wants another term. Some voters are apathetic, others unhappy, but some want him to stay.
In February 2016, the body of a missing Italian student was found badly beaten near a highway outside Cairo. Egypt's security forces are strongly suspected, as they have long been accused of torturing detainees and of suspicious disappearances. Egyptian police are thought to be responsible for hundreds of unlawful imprisonments, and pressure on the government to intervene is mounting. So we wanted to know, just how corrupt is Egypt? Well, much of Egypt's current issues with corruption stem from former President Hosni Mubarak. When Mubarak took office in 1981, he placed Egypt under emergency law, which suspended constitutional protections and broadened the authority of the police and politicians. This effectively froze citizens' rights to equal protection and a fair trial. As a result, politicians and activists were arbitrarily detained, secret prisons were established, and media outlets were blocked. When Mubarak was ousted from office in 2011, roughly half the population was living on $2 a day or less, while Mubarak's personal fortune was estimated to be worth $70 billion. Since then, Egypt has undergone multiple elections and constitution changes, but Egypt continued to drop on the corruption index, falling 6 spots in 2011. And 64% of Egyptians report that corruption increased between 2011 and 2013. That is in part because low-level or petty corruption is reportedly deeply ingrained in Egyptian society.